yeah, so 2 days ago, I reached out to my team that I wanted to jump on the streets of Ibadan or Lagos to interview people about the concept of good and ask them the question, what do they think good is? To say something is good, what do they think it is? Is good. Can we equate good with pleasure? So if something is pleasurable, does that mean that thing is good? If something is desirable, does that mean that thing is good? If something feels good or looks nice, does that mean it is good? Basically, I'm like asking people about their own concept of good. This question just didn't drop on my mind. It dropped on my mind after I joined Solomon Butch's life, and he was talking about abortion. And for me, I wasn't necessarily like arguing for or against abortion. I was trying to like encourage the viewers to be more critical in their analysis when it comes to ethical issues. You know, the basics of my of the premise when I was discussing with him on his life was that abortion is not wrong and it is not right. I mean, it depends on the circumstance you find yourself. So he asked me a question: how do I judge an action? How do I know if an action is wrong or right? Or then it was like, what is good in itself? What the concept of good? How do I define good? When I say something is good, how do I know an action is good? At first, I was lost for a minute. I was like, good is good. That didn't make sense for sure. Then again, I was like, based on instinct, they will know if something is good or not. But to be honest, after that life, then I decided to go like I decided to open this book, Moral Philosophy, and check if I have any selected reading that addresses like this question of good. Then I found one by G.E. Moore. G.E. Moore is one of the founder of analytic philosophy. He was a British philosopher, and yeah, so he wrote something about the concept of good. So I decided to pick it up and read. It is interesting. I would like to you, and the plan is that I want my guys to jump on the street first, ask people questions about good, and bring a guest here. Because I was having a conversation with a colleague at work yesterday, and we were discussing about good. Then I asked him, "How do you know an action is good?" And he told me, "Good is subjective." You know. Then I asked him for that question. One thing I need to point out is that I like asking people questions. In philosophy, questions questions are very important. As a matter of fact, I like using Socratic method of teaching, which is the dialectical method of teaching, whereby you ask people questions, thoughtful questions, by the way, then you get thoughtful answers. You ask them questions not to win an argument, but to help them think. So basically, that was what I was doing. So I was asking him questions. Then I asked him questions that then it was like, to say something is good is subjective. Then I asked that if you think it's subjective, don't you think there will be chaos in the world? Then I painted a scenario that suppose a man killed a child, then it means that we can justify the man's action by saying he thinks or he believes that killing is good. And I was like, no, that's why we have the law. The law is agreed by selected people. Like they agree on certain things, and they'll be like, okay, this is the law. So it's not the law is to avoid that chaos, even in our subjectivity. And I must agree with you. He gave thoughtful answers, and I decided that I'm going to bring him on the channel. So this is where we need you guys. The more you like, the more you engage in our content, we'll be able to bring these folks to analyze issues together. By the way, this guest has no background in no critical background. He has a basic background in philosophy, but no critical background, like rigorous background in philosophy, but yet to give a thoughtful question. So, so our plan is to like bring these guests, and our guys will jump on the streets in Ibadan or Lagos to ask people about this question of good. What do they think good is? To say something is good, because I realize that we can't even address the concept of good We can't even address good. We can't even address some ethical societal issues without understanding what good is. We can't say abortion is good or not without understanding what good is. What are the qualities that we need to see before we say an action is good? You know. So, because most of my philosophy life, like my academic training and even in field work, even in like the research, it's heavy on applied ethics and normative ethics. Normative ethics is how things ought to be, and why applied ethics is how we can put it in practice, how we can bring it to reality. So at some point, I was like, you know what? I need to go through mental ethics too. I need to see what mental ethics is saying for me to be able to answer some critical questions in normative ethics and applied ethics. And that is why we're here. So we hope to see you in the next video. Most likely the next video will be the next two coming, not the next video. After the next video coming up will be probably be an interview, a street interview asking people about the concept of good and what they think good is, and what are the attributes we need to say something is good, and what is good in itself. The word good, Good, what is good? You know, it's a difficult question to answer, I must confess. Because when I was reading the book, the writer was like, it's just like explaining what is color yellow. Yellow, I mean, YELLOW. What is yellow? That's also difficult. Yellow is yellow. That's difficult to answer. So, uh, again, we'll bring this guest, then we can both talk about it. Then our guest will jump on the street. So, their video will come up before before yeah, so their video will come out first before bringing a guest in. Yeah, that's it for now, and we hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for the likes, thanks for the share, thanks for the follow, thanks for the engagement. Thank you very much. We appreciate you so much, and have a good one.